Welcome to the D&G Show. My name is Derek Hayden, and your other host is Garrett Ulmer.
Good morning.
Our special guest today is Cari Rincker from Rincker Law here in downtown Shelbyville, as well as some other locations, it looks like. So thanks for joining us, Cari.
Glad to be here. Thanks, Derek.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get started, I will give a quick shout out to our sponsor. It's Central Illinois Mutual Insurance Company. Specialize in farm and country home insurance. I'll go ahead and let Garrett jump into a few questions for you, Cari.
Yeah, we typically start off with a few icebreaker questions. And, I know we go over a little bit of a list of what we'll be talking about today. And these we did not send you. So I hope you got your thinking cap on because they're extremely tough.
Pressure.
So. All right. Well, first that we normally ask is if you had any superpower, what superpower would you choose and how would you use it?
Ooh, well, people ask me what my biggest regret is educationally, and it is that I did not learn Spanish well enough. I wish I would have paid more attention while I was taking Spanish in Shelbyville. So my superpower would be that I would be able to instantly be fluent in whatever language in the country that I'm visiting, or if I'm having a conversation with somebody, just to have that instant language skill set.
Very
cool. That's a first for us.
It is. You can tell that we work with entrepreneurs because they come up with some creative ideas on what their superpower.
Yeah, really. I don't think we've had anybody have the same answer. So that's a great one. Perfect. Cool. Next is, we know you use social media. What social media platform do you enjoy the most?
You know, this one's going to surprise you. Snapchat. I don't know why,
really?
But I just love, and I know that Instagram is a very manicured perspective of people's lives, but I feel like if you want to know the real me, then you need to follow me on Snapchat. That's the real deal.
It's funny how things have changed where, Facebook was the thing, Instagram, and now I feel like everybody is starting to move towards that Snapchat. And now, Derek and I talk about it a lot, but TikTok. And
yes. During quarantine, I got a little addicted to TikTok. I do not have any TikToks recorded, so don't go follow me, but I am a TikTok stalker. So
yeah. So I guess that's the next one as we progress here to start looking at as well. So, but last one I have for you is if you had any profession that you could choose in the world, or let's just say your dream job, what would it be?
Well, I have always said in my next life, I want to come back as like a murder detective. So I think that would be my next choice if I wasn't a lawyer.
All right. Perfect.
That is cool. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for letting the viewers get to know you a little bit, Cari.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you to answer not really answer questions, but tell us a little bit of your background, how you got to where you are, and a little bit about Rincker Law.
So, sure. I grew up in Shelbyville, just right outside of town. My family has a beef cattle farm there. So I'm a graduate of Shelbyville High School. I graduated in 1998. And then from there, and back up a little bit, like I grew up showing cattle through Shelby County 4-H and, at the Illinois State Fair and the whole 9 yards. I then went to Lakeland College and got my associate's degree in agriculture there at Lakeland, and then migrated down south to Texas A&M for my associate in animal science, came back to the University of Illinois, jumping around. I have a master's degree in ruminant nutrition, which is basically beef cattle nutrition. So I like to joke that I think I'm the only lawyer in the country who is also a beef cattle nutritionist. And I went out east for law school. So that's what took me out to the East Coast, is I was there for law school. And when you go to law school, you sort of get on a train. I was taught New York law. It was very comfortable for me to take the New York bar exam. I had contacts there. And so I ultimately started my law practice there in New York City. And the only way for me to practice food and agriculture law in New York City was for me to do it on my own. And that's what I did. And then about 3.5 years ago, I decided to move home. I have a small farm right outside of Champaign. I have an office both in downtown Champaign and also in downtown Shelbyville. I was just there in Shelbyville for the last 2 days. And so it's been great for me to sort of come full circle and to be back in my home community again.
Sure.
Very cool. Yeah, we always like to see, the locals come back at some point in time and spread your knowledge and your resources here in town. So we're happy to see you back in town as well.
Yes, for sure. Well, we know that you work a lot with farmers in the agriculture side of the law. If you had any advice for any farmers that are maybe looking, for a little more information on how to protect their operation, what kind of advice would you give them?
My biggest pet peeve is that agriculture is such a handshake culture, and that, and in no other business industry do people do business all the time with a handshake.
Yeah.
And it is ubiquitous in agriculture. The problem is that when things go bad, then you end up calling somebody like me. And my first question is going to be, well, do you have a contract? And, by and large, usually the answer is no. And so that is my biggest piece of advice for risk mitigation, is to memorialize those contracts. And it is not about not trusting the other person, because you probably trust the other person. You're doing business with them. You probably have known them for a long time, but it's really about clarity of the issues and really thinking things through, including issues that might be completely out of people's control, such as a government taking, or there be a fire, or, there's all sorts of things that people don't anticipate that could happen, and to just sort of think those issues through.
Sure.
Yeah, I've never thought of it like that, but that's absolutely true. And especially here in Central Illinois, it's pretty much on your word and a handshake, and
I know
things can turn sour pretty quick if you don't have things straightened out before.
Yeah. I mean, you are 100% right. Before I got into insurance, I spent quite a bit of time in the auto industry, and around here, agriculture, sold a lot of trucks to a lot of farmers, and a handshake was like you said, it was the exact way they wanted to do business. If we agreed upon it, they were come back the next day. They gave you a handshake. That pretty much summed it up most of the time. So
Mm-hmm.
you're 100% correct. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, Cari, before we sign off here, is there anything else you want to tell our viewers or highlight about Rincker Law? Anything you want people of Shelbyville to know?
Yeah, so my practice is a hybrid practice. I do with food and agriculture, I do mostly transactional work. And so what I mean by that would be business law, contract drafting. I draft farm leases. I do farm estate and succession planning, things along those lines. I even do trademarks for folks. I do get into some commercial litigation, not as much as some lawyers. I also do family law as well. And so my joke is I do horses and divorces. And in fact, I just published my third book combining the two areas. So it is on family law issues in agriculture. That's available on Amazon.com.
Wow.
Perfect.
Can the fine folks of Shelbyville get a signed copy of that book as well?
Yes, maybe I'll have a little signing party there.
There you go.
You need to trademark that slogan.
Horses and divorces. It's funny. I think that there's some bar like in New York City that is like called Horses and Divorces. So I think you're right. I think I need to jump on that band.
You better take advantage of it for you guys. So.
That's awesome. So, Cari, if someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to contact you?
My website is rinkerlaw.com, spelled RINCKERLAW.com. And from there, you'll even see my myriad social media links on Instagram, Facebook, etc. The username is my name, how original, at Cari Rincker. And then I also have business profiles at Rincker Law. So would love to connect with folks. I love social media. I think I think of social media as just a way to sort of connect and learn from one another, like a big, part of your conversation.
Sure.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, Cari, thanks for your time. Thanks for sharing a little bit of knowledge with the community here. Garrett,
great to have you in Shelbyville for sure.
Yeah,
well, thank you.
absolutely.
I appreciate that. I'm glad to be part of the downtown scene. So
very cool. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and sign off. You can contact Garrett or myself at Shelbyville Insurance at 217-774-2155, or you can see us online at shelbyvilleins.com. Have a good day, guys.
Have a great one. Take care.
Thanks again.
Bye-bye.